A healthy baby girl was born in a small village in Tuscumbia, Alabama on June 27, 1880. Her parents were Kate Adams Keller and Colonel Arthur Keller. When Helen was 19 months old, she contracted an unknown illness described by doctors as an acute congestion of the stomach and the brain, which is now thought to have been scarlet fever or meningitis. The illness left her both deaf and blind, completely shaping the way Keller would live her life. Growing up, Helen became a badly behaved child. She often got upset and cried loudly. With her behavior, her parents became sad and worried. One day, they got a suggestion from Alexander Graham Bell and contacted the school for the blind to find a teacher for Helen. A woman named Anne Sullivan, the teacher, came to teach and help Helen. Anne helped by teaching Helen letters, proper etiquette, and how to talk. When Anne started teaching Helen, Helen became upset and she cried and cried. The parents of Helen and Anne talked to each other. "I will help your daughter," Anne told Helen's parents. Anne showed Helen what letters were and what things were. One example, Anne taught Helen the word water by using a water pump. Anne put Helen's hand under the spout. As the cool water gushed over one hand, she spelled into the other hand the word W-A-T-E-R, first slowly, then rapidly. Suddenly, the signals had meaning in Helen's mind. She knew that water meant the wonderful cool substance flowing over her hand. Quickly, she stopped and touched the earth and demanded its letter name, and by nightfall, she had learned 30 words. Helen quickly proceeded to master the alphabet, both manual and engraced print for blind readers, or braille, and gained facility in reading and writing. In Helen's handwriting, many round letters look square, but you could easily read everything. She expressed a desire to learn to speak. Anne took Helen to see Sarah Fuller at the Horace Mann School for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing in Boston. Fuller gave Helen 11 lessons, after which Anne taught Helen. Anne also taught her how to have good behavior. For example, Helen was eating everyone's food off their plates with her hands. Anne pushed her to sit down and used her fork. Anne kept Helen's arms to herself. Anne taught Helen how to talk by placing Helen's hands on the lips and throat so Helen could feel the sounds. With the progress of Helen, her parents became proud and cried while watching her. Helen's extraordinary abilities and her teacher's unique skills were noticed by Alexander Graham Bell and Mark Twain, two giants of American culture. Twain declared, "The two most interesting characters of the 19th century are Napoleon and Helen Keller." The closeness of Helen and Anne's relationship led to accusations that Helen's ideas were not her own. Famously, at the age of 11, Helen was accused of plagiarism. Helen was determined to go to college. In 1898, she entered the Cambridge School for Young Ladies to prepare for Radcliffe College. She entered Radcliffe in the fall of 1900 and received a Bachelor of Arts degree cum laude in 1904, the first deaf-blind person to do so. Helen had two typewriters. One was regular and another one was Braille. She used a typewriter to write books, letters, and articles. Anne changed the college books to Braille and Helen read the book. Helen wrote her first book called The Story of My Life while she was in college. The story of Helen moved a lot of people. Afterwards, Helen did a lot of work for the benefit of the persons with disabilities. She traveled around the world and taught people about blind and deaf, and made guidelines for helping people with disabilities. After studying, Helen Keller used her experiences and channeled them into becoming a speaker and author, and she became an advocate for people with disabilities. She was also politically active and considered herself a suffragette, pacifist, and radical socialist, as well as a supporter of birth control. During 7 trips between 1946 and 1957, she visited 35 countries on 5 continents. She met with world leaders such as Winston Churchill, Jawaharlal Nehru, and Golda Meir. In 1948, she was sent to Japan as America's first goodwill ambassador by General Douglas MacArthur. Her first visit was a huge success. Up to 2 million Japanese came out to see her, and her appearance drew considerable attention to the plight of Japan's blind and disabled population. She gave lectures and raised funds, and she helped support various deaf-blind programs. As a result, she could set up a foundation for the disabled and welfare facilities. She helped establish the American Foundation for the Blind. She showed others that people with disabilities can also have happy lives. She was honored around the globe and garnered many awards. She received honorary doctoral degrees from Temple and Harvard universities in the United States, Glasgow and Berlin universities in Europe, Delhi University in India, and Witwatersrand University in South Africa. She also received an honorary Academy Award in 1955 as the inspiration for the documentary about her life. Helen Keller in her story. After she suffered a stroke in 1960, she made her last major public appearance in 1961 at a Washington, D.C. Lions Club International Foundation meeting, and from 1961 onwards, she lived quietly at Arkan Ridge, her home in Westport, Connecticut, one of the four main places she lived during her lifetime. The others were Tuscumbia, Alabama, Wrentham, Massachusetts, and Forest Hills, New York. Helen Keller died on June 1, 1968 at Arkan Ridge, a few weeks short of her 88th birthday. Senator Lester Hill of Alabama gave a eulogy during the public memorial service. He said, "She will live on, one of the few, with immortal names not born to die. Her spirit will endure as long as man can read, and stories can be told of the woman who showed the world that there are no boundaries to courage and faith."
Helen Keller was a woman of vision. Although she lost her hearing and physical sight at 19 months of age, she became a woman whose heart heard the deepest depths of understanding, and a woman who took in so much of our world through her life experiences, literature, and people she met throughout our world. She achieved deep understanding of both people and of our physical earth, although she herself physically heard no sound nor physically saw anything. She was still able to see and hear far deeper than most people. Her story should be read. It is amazing to share her life and learn how she was able to achieve all that she accomplished and understood of people and of our world. She was one of the greatest communicators who has ever lived. Alone I can do so little, together we can do so much.